Yeah, that was myself and Grant and Matt, and these are the newspaper reporters from the News of the World. We always walk up track lines so we don't leave walk marks through the crop. As you can see, the sticks that we use with white tips so they can be seen at night. Always got to remember to count these up when you leave a circle so that you don't leave any visible traces of humans having made a circle at the end. And just pull your tape out to the distances marked on your diagram. You've got to hold the tape very tight. Sometimes when the wind is blowing, you'll get problems with deviation errors because the wind will blow your tape just a half a foot, and if you multiply that out by
your mongrel stomping board here, Grant.
testing the overall measurement.
You'll all have to duck down in the tram line when we come across there. Sorry?
See my grey hairs there, which comes with the stress of being a circle maker.
Yeah, leave me alone.
And this sideways stepping, we often call a foot line or a foot stomp. Doing that on a large area can get quite painful on your legs because it's an unusual movement that you don't often do. So your legs are not used to it.
It's all a case of if it's going to match.
All right.
And if everything's measured correctly, your foot stomp should meet the point where you started. Otherwise you're in big trouble.
Not too bad.
The other end.
And now this is Grant here using a stomping board. You can see you can cover quite a large area quickly at that pace.
You see the crop, it goes no, that's all right.
Thing to do is to obviously maintain the same technique throughout going around, so that you don't change the style of the crop as it's viewed from the air. And this, even though you cover a lot larger area, it's often easier to use your board forwards in the stomping fashion than it is to walk sideways, which is very tiring.
One thing I noticed with this wheat is...
Yeah, Matt just commenting there that the wheat is very brittle as it's at the end of its life, and the heads are actually bowed down. What we're doing now is the inner sections, which use the measuring posts, and we are cutting across through the circle that we've created, the initial circle, and we're creating the inner lines, which are used later on to tell us which bits need to be filled and which bits need to be left standing.
But normally when you write, you're doing big thick black pen, and when you've got enough light, you can just about sort of look without a torch. But if you do need a torch, you can just put a torch, very small torch, through your fingers, close it off, and you can sort of do that.
Right.
You can just about see without anybody being able to see you from miles away.
Okay.
And it's Mr. Sorensen helping out in his cameo role.
Magic stalk. Wow, there's a lot of work. It's so much friction, isn't it?
The heads are bent over, so they all lock together.
Tangling up.
Yeah. They're all bent. And they're like Velcro.
Right. Good analogy. Sorry. Yep.
And this design uses a crosshatch style, which means there's a lot of lines intersecting and cutting across each other, and you've got to decide which of the bits you've got to flatten, which of the bits are left standing, and that's really where a keen eye and being able to work from the diagram and look at what you're looking at on the diagram and picture it in your mind, and then see from the lines which are created which are the bits you're meant to be working in. And I and other people I know have made mistakes in this area, but sometimes when you make a mistake you can always change the design on the fly, which is the beauty of somebody not seeing your design beforehand. When you take the bull by the horns and make demonstration circles like this one for a newspaper, you're kind of committed to having to get it right first time, no mistakes. And my board was going around the corner then. And this little bit demonstrates how you can actually curve around with your board and introduce different flows to the lay. So when you reach an edge, you start to turn sideways, as Matthew is doing here. So you curve around, and this would change the direction of flow. And another little curve at the end for me. It stops the seed heads pushing up against the flat wall that you want to create. And a pole shot here from Peter, getting a little bit of an idea of what we're looking at now from the ground. Of course we weren't able to see this at the time, and we would never know whether our design was perfect until somebody had come back and given us photographs of it. But I was pretty confident with this one that we hadn't made any mistakes. It seemed fairly obvious from the ground. And a sweaty bunch of people, a lot sweatier than they would have been if they were working at night. And this is the photo of the finished article, which I was quite pleased with, and appeared in the News of the World Sunday magazine supplement.